Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank Cheryl Wolk and her kitchen staff for the fantastic meal tonight. If we could give them a big round of applause. Our banquets are always full of delicious foods, and they do a fantastic job preparing everything for us. So thank you, ladies. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sports booster officers. We have 4 officers who spend a lot of time, and they do it all volunteer. A lot of behind-the-scenes things that you guys don't see them doing, meetings, arranging workers for concession stands, and that's a big job. Getting things ready for the banquets and so forth. They work tirelessly, and they just do it all for the kids. No pay, no compensation. Our 4 booster officers, Kelly Solkowski, Kay Walmack, Kim Palmer, and Pam Meyer. Nice round of applause for those ladies. Okay. Introduction of the coaches, and then we'll start with the actual coaches coming up and talking. We're going to go from starting at my left here. We've got one of our freshman football coaches, Jared Bonnell. When I was sitting here eating, I already knew that this side of the table was the good-looking side, but then when Coach Bonnell sat down, I was sure that that was the best-looking side. All right, to his right, we've got our assistant fall cheer coach, Laura Geck. To her right, our head fall cheer coach, Ashley Grind. To her right, our one and only Emeralds coach, Brittany Ramirez. To my right, we've got head football coach, Bob Stolzer. Coach, I think you're more bald than you were last year. I can almost see what you're thinking. To his right is our offensive coordinator, Bob Weiler. To his right is one of our 2 volunteer football coaches this year. Does everything, when I say volunteer, it's completely just like our sports booster officers, unpaid. So we greatly appreciate his time. Coach Joey Lewandowski. Defensive coordinator to his right, Coach Kenny Wyke. To his right, one of our JV football coaches, Adam Sherry. And last but not least, Mr. Bowtie down there, one of our freshman coaches, Cody Schwint. The order this night is going to be the Emeralds, then football, then cheer. So I'm going to take this opportunity now to turn it over to our Emeralds coach, Brittany Ramirez. You're up. You'll be all right.
Hello. All right, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm Coach Ramirez, and this is my 2nd year as the Emeralds coach. I'd like to thank Mr. Nix for all his support and guidance throughout the season, also the parents and faculty. Your fall 2014 Emeralds are Emma DeLapp, Caitlin Yunt, Michaela Campbell, Alyssa Venz, Deandra Bolin, Michaela Hamer, Chandra Locke, Caitlin Christie, Madison Buckite, Summer Mooney, Brandy Sutton, and Emily Nicholson, and Morgan Squires. Just a little bit about the season. They had a great season, starting with summer practices 4 days a week for 3 hours each day. During those practices, they learned dance technique such as ballet and jazz training. They had a great turnout for the Little Gems this year. They had a total of 98 girls. We organized a dance with the cheerleaders during homecoming, which was a lot of fun. Our team awards Most improved, Emily Nicholson. The Emerald Award, Michaela Hammer. Leadership Award, Caitlin Yunt. Sideline Award is Chandra Locke. Attendance Award, Deandra Bolin. These aren't going to be awards, but I just wanted to recognize the captains. Emma DeLapp was head captain, and Michaela Campbell was senior captain, and co-captain was Caitlin Yunt. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for their support, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emeralds. I have to say that every year I'm impressed with you guys in general, but especially when you guys have the little gyms out there, and there's like 90 kindergarten through 6th grade girls or 5th grade girls, and somehow you guys manage to get them all together and to dance without kids getting hurt or getting lost and so forth, and there's 90 something of them. I still can't figure out how you guys coordinate that, but good job with that and with the fall season Emeralds. We'll go ahead and turn it over now to our football coaches. I think we had kind of a unique lower level situation this year with freshman and sophomore JV and so forth. So between our lower level coaches, I think Cody Schwint drew the short straw, and he's going to do all the talking while the other guys just kind of heckle them from where they're sitting. So Coach Schwint, come on up. Yeah.
They actually asked the best looking one to come up here, so that's what I did. First off, I'd like to thank all our coaches' families. We spend late nights. Coach Sherry even had a baby throughout the season, and he still came to games. So we really appreciate that. Parents, thanks for getting the guys in here every night. Also, I'd like to thank my fellow coaches. I'm the young guy on the staff, so I'm learning things every day, so I want to thank them. I'm going to call the guys up who contributed to our 9th and 10th grade season. Talon Black, Brandon Henson, nice bow tie, Austin Hudson, Blake Moore, Kegan Pinkley, Robert Ringer, Daniel Vaith, Xavier Boyd, Luke Brewster, Austin Karen, Austin Dobbinspec, Gabe Grimminger, Wade Hahn, Garrett Hook, Jared Humboldt, Damian Kiefer, my twin for this evening, Kevin McCartney, Waylon Meyer, Thomas Oder, Nick Robinson, Camden Rowe, Kegan Schmelsley, Logan Schwint, Drew Toombs, Theron Viox, and Gilbert Werner. All right, like I said, this is the main group of guys who contributed to our 9th and 10th grade season. We felt like together these classes gelled very well and can have a nice future if they have fun working out and make themselves get stronger. Our 3 losses this season came to Valley twice and Park Hills. I think we can all agree that they were just stronger, not necessarily more athletic. To begin our season, we lost to Valley once as a 9th and 10th grade squad and once as a freshman group. We then finished the season 4-1, and if DeSoto would not have been canceled, we feel like we would have had another win under our belts. So we ended up 4-3. We outscored opponents 150 to 123, and on defense we did a great job swarming the ball and out hustling teams. Our last game was against Grandview, where we had some big men score. Shout out Leland Hook. This was quite a sight to see, something I'll probably never forget. This group got better each week, and many of them contributed to varsity. I think we had 3 freshmen letter this year. We expect big things from them in the future. This is your JV/9th grade/freshman group.
Coach Sherry, I didn't know that you actually gave birth to a baby this season. Congratulations. I hope you make a lot of money off of that. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm going to turn it over now to Bob Squared. We'll start with Bob Weiler. He's going to get up and talk about a few kids and a little bit about the season. And then, of course, Bob Stolzer will finish off football this evening. So, Bob Weiler, you're up.
First of all, so there's not a whole lot of redundancy, I'm going to let Coach Stolzer give all the thank yous and that and talk about the season. I have 13 athletes I need to speak on behalf of, and we usually spend a little bit more time on the varsity kids. So without further ado, the 3 pups, the 3 sophomores. Dalton Giesler, come on up, Dalton. Dalton played tight end, outside linebacker, safety. Dalton filled a void for us at tight end and did an outstanding job for just a sophomore. He displays very good hands and had hauled in 5 passes, good for 83 yards. His biggest catch came week 1 against Dexter on a touchdown of 40 yards. On defense, Dalton recorded 20 tackles, had 2 assists, 2 BTLs, and late in the year, I'm not sure which game it was, I think he had like 9 or 10 tackles, had a great game, so we're looking for some big things from Dalton. He could be a 2-way player for us in 2015. Logan Reinhardt. Logan was one of our fastest players 2014. He played receiver and D-back. He rushed 9 times for 42 yards. He caught 15 balls for 129 yards. Also was a return specialist, averaging 21.7 yards per punt return, and he housed 1 for a TD. Defensively, he was in on 22 tackles, 4 assists, 1 BTL, 1 fumble recovery, 3 interceptions. I believe all were returned for touchdowns. Right? Good. I wish he would have had about 8 or 9. Logan was awarded honorable mention return specialist, and again, I think these 2 guys, along with many of our other players, next fall are going to have great seasons. We've been in the weight room. We attacked the weight room harder at this point than any other year in a long, long time, so we're excited. Wyatt Lamandier, the last of the sophomores. Wyatt started at quarterback this past season. He completed 52% of his passes for 921 with 10 TDs and 5 interceptions. Wyatt also rushed 304 yards on 80 carries for 3.8 average. We really feel with another year of experience that Wyatt can put up some great numbers as a dual threat quarterback. He's one of the top 2 quickest players on our team. Now the juniors. Skylar Ring. Skylar didn't make it. Okay, Skylar's a junior. He played some D-back. He helped us a lot on, especially during practice, jumping in wherever we needed it. Great kid. Nick Bowling, the new kid on the block. Nick came to us this year from Hillsboro. A great person, also works real hard and is willing to learn. Nick converted from a guard to play running back. Nick has shown a lot of progression as a linebacker, and could possibly definitely help us as a linebacker, and we're thinking about maybe moving him back on the line next year, maybe play some center or somewhere. He's one of those in the weight room quite frequently now after school too, so we're excited for Nick. Logan Seibel, wide receiver, D-back. Logan really came up on, actually he really came on with every game. His potential is very high, and he has gravitated to the weight room in the off season. Logan has a lot of strength and explosiveness, and very frequently teams threw away from him. He will be one of the top D-backs in the conference next fall. Anthony Rowe. Anthony was a two-way starter in 2013, but due to a serious ACL injury, Anthony was sidelined all season. In 2013, Anthony rushed for over 1,000 yards and was one of our leading tacklers. We look really forward to having him back next year and solidify not only our backfield but also our linebacker core. Austin Brewer. Austin was a two-way high-energy player for us in 2014. Austin was the second leading tackler with 64 tackles, 13 assists. He recorded 4 BTLs, 3 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. Offensively, Austin carried 150 times for 1,064 yards. Austin has great leg drive. He's hard to bring down one-on-one. So with another year in the weight room, wrestling season, and so on, look out. Our backfield could be really good, and our line is getting big. I saw Jetty go back about 5 times today, I think, so we're excited. I'd like to see him about 290. Austin was awarded first team coaches all region running back along with first team all conference running back. Austin also was awarded second team all conference linebacker. Okay, I have 5 seniors to speak about, so I would like to start with Mighty Mouse, Andrew DeRouche. I think they called him that last year. Andrew played in the secondary and some wide receiver and running back. As a starting D-back, Andrew was in on 33 tackles, had 10 assists. He led the team with 4 interceptions and 5 pass breakups. I don't think the quarterback could see him. Sorry, Andrew. Andrew rushed 8 times for 42 yards, had 5 punt returns for 62 yards, and he was selected all-conference honorable mention D-back. Joe Allen. Joe was one of the original team captains, but like Anthony, Joe missed the 2014 campaign. Joe was a huge contributor as a leader on the sidelines and keeping our manager stocked in McDonald's foods at every practice. Tate Maher. After a jarring shoulder injury that required surgery in 2013, Tate thought it would be best to end his football career. Tate came to one camp to look at possibly becoming a manager, ran a couple of routes. I think Coach Sherry enticed him to do that. And the next day we were gathering gear for him as he was a two-way starter for us and really helped us out. Tate started in our secondary and compiled 42 tackles, 34 were solo. He had 4 BTLs, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, and 2 pass breakups. Offensively, Tate started at tight end, had 17 receptions for 230 yards and 2 TDs. Tate was awarded all-conference honorable mention linebacker. Luke Gettinger. Luke was one of our captains and, unfortunately, one of our injured players that missed a lot of time. Luke did rush for 593 yards on 122 carries, which is a 4.9 yard average, and scored 6 TDs. Luke had 4 catches for 50 yards, 1 TD. He was awarded honorable mention all-conference running back. And Drew Smelsley. Drew was a very good D-back for us. He recorded 36 tackles and 9 assists. He also had 3 interceptions. Drew was also our leading receiver with 20 receptions for 448 yards, which is a 22.4 average, and scored 6 TDs. Drew made 25 of 30 extra points, and as a result was awarded first-team all-conference kicker. He also received all-conference first-team D-back, second-team all-conference wide receiver, second-team all-region wide receiver, second-team all-region D-back, and second-team all-region special teams kicker. To finalize what I have to say, about 100 years ago, I played football at Valley High School, now known as Valley Catholic. One of my coaches was a guy named Bob Stolzer, Buffalo Bob, I think we called him. Mike Seibel was our quarterback there. I was a receiver, and we had 2 young coaches, Coach Jackson, Coach Stolzer came in. Coach Stolzer was young, hairy, burly, chiseled man, Much better looking back then, probably. But so then, after we graduated, I went off to college, and Mr. Stolzer went off, and he came up on the hill of St. Genevieve High School, and he was assistant. After college, I spent 6 years at Valley and 2 as a head coach. One night I received a call from Coach Stolzer, Coach Boulware, and lo and behold, 26 years ago, I decided to come up here. One thing I remember is Coach saying, you've got to look at the pros and cons. You got to look long range. You got to look beyond 1 year. Well, I knew that we were going to win state the following year, but I had to look at family. I had to look at a lot of different things, and it was the best decision, thanks to Coach Stolzer, that put me in that position that I've ever had. Great advice. I really appreciate it. 206 wins, 1 state title, 1 second-place state finish, 5 semifinalists, 3 quarterfinalists, 17 playoffs, 14 district titles, 13 conference titles. When describing Coach Stolzer, very dedicated, very driven, unbelievably, very hostile at times. Poor refs. And my ears and the coach's ears with the headphones on. One of the greatest qualities is disciplinarian. It doesn't matter if it's your kid, my kid, or his kid. He's going to treat you the same way. He's very fair. There's times where he would tell our best player, if you don't like it, you can leave. And I'm thinking, holy, don't do that. We need that guy. Adam Swint, or whoever it was, you know, it was like, but anyway, you know, he treated all his players fair, and one thing, before we left to go out on the field, before every game, we would always handshake, and we'd let's go get them, you know, good luck, whatever else, and I'll never forget that, so I kind of want to end it with a handshake right now. Thank you.
And I thought all those years you just like holding my hand. Okay, as we've done in the past, Coach Wiley always handled skilled people, or the backs or ends or receivers or whatever, and always took the linemen, who I usually always work more so with. So I'll call you guys up and introduce you. Come up and stand up just like the backs and ends and everybody did. And Coach Wiley, if you'll hand out their letter certificates, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, okay? Okay, first off, number 50, and I go numerically instead of by classes. First off, number 50, junior Hunter Johnson. Okay, Hunter was one of our backup centers, backup long snapper, backup defensive lineman this year. He's always there doing whatever we ask, and when we're preparing for a game during the week, we need some of the other kids, which we call a scout team, to mimic our opposition's offense or defense. And Hunter was always very unselfish and would readily jump in there, because we usually know needs someone who knows halfway what they're doing. So Hunter, you know, that was one of his important roles on the team, was to help the starters get ready, but he was always ready in the sidelines to jump in there whenever time comes for someone to be spelled. He logged 3 tackles as a backup defensive lineman for us this season, and I think if Hunter will get in the weight room and apply himself this year, you could be a big asset, Hunter. So get in the weight room this winter, okay? Okay, number 51, junior Logan Dowdy. Okay, Logan was our team leader in tackles from his linebacker spot this past year. He recorded 76 primary tackles, 20 assists, and 10 of those behind the line. He also had 2 fumble recoveries. Logan started every game for us at linebacker this past season, and when Gabe Harmon received a foot injury about mid-season or a little bit after, Logan stepped in and took over at right offensive tackle and did an outstanding job there. Logan's got outstanding quickness, and he just did a real super job there. Very disciplined player and didn't make many mistakes. Extreme hard worker, and all his work through the off season made him into a very good football player. His tackle totals for his primaries this year moved him up into the number 9 spot in the all-time primary tackle leaders in St. John football records. His efforts were certainly rewarded with being named as a first-team all-conference linebacker this past fall, and the Missouri Football Coaches Association first-team all-district linebacker. He was probably the quietest player on the team this year, but he made a lot of noise to his work and play. Whenever it came time for his time to come off the field, especially when he was just playing defense, he'd come sprinting off. He'd never said much. Like I say, he'll talk, but you've got to prod him to get him going. But fine young man, hard worker. Number 52, senior Harrison Womack. Okay, Harrison's another one of our success stories. I might have traded Harrison when he was a junior for us last year because I really didn't know if he had much of a future as far as being a player. However, he got into the weight room, worked his tail off in the offseason, made himself into a player. He started every game at right guard for us this past season and started defensive tackle also. He also had the ability to play defensive end, so because I remember a lot of times during practices, if we'd send somebody else in defensive tackle, we'd tell Harrison to move out and take his reps at end, so he could play either one, which made him a very versatile player for us. Real smart player, and Harrison improved on a weekly basis. He improved enough to be named to the all-conference team as the second-team offensive guard. Defensively, he logged 21 primary tackles, 7 assists, and 1 behind the line. We moved Harrison into one of our captain slots when our captains started dropping off, getting injured. Anyhow, a very respectable and hardworking young man. Number 53, senior David Ringwald, the Mad Dog. Dog, how long have you had that name? I don't know. Whenever he came out for football for us a few years, the kids were calling him Mad Dog. How long have you had that?
Sophomore year.
I'm afraid to ask why they call you Mad Dog. But anyway, Mad Dog Ringwald's claim to fame came on the kickoff team. He worked his tail off in the weight room. Another one of these youngsters who suggest ways for him to improve, and they take your word to heart and get after things. Anyhow, he worked his tail off in the weight room to earn his spot on the kickoff team, where he recorded 4 tackles for us this year. Dave's a very pleasant and hardworking young man who will be successful in life due to his work ethic. So always do whatever it takes for him to be successful, and great young man who truly loves the game, and always a pleasure to have around. Number 54, sophomore Levi Gons. Levi's another one of these guys who worked hard in the off season. Anyhow, his hard work earned him a starting position at defensive end for us this year. He recorded 33 primary tackles, 4 assists, and 9 behind the line. Also had a fumble recovery. Levi's a very tough player who, with the experience he gained this year, with his work habits, he should be a stellar performer on defense for his next couple of seasons, being he's only a sophomore. Number 56, junior Morgan Shank. Here's another success story who benefited from all-season work. Morgan's got a lot of athletic ability. I guess you're playing basketball again, aren't you, Peachy? Yeah. Okay, starter on the basketball team for us. Anyway, he's got the athletic ability, and through his work in the off-season, made himself both into a leader and a player. He started every game for us this past season at center and defensive tackle, and his efforts gained him all conference spots as a first-team defensive lineman and a second-team center, along with the SEMO Football Coaches Association being named the second-team all-region defensive lineman, and the Missouri Football Coaches Association as an all-district second-team defensive lineman. Morgan's a very smart player who, with his work ethic, should be one of the best linemen in the conference and possibly in the area next fall. So, Peaches, you do your what you've done all along as far as your work ethics. You'll get there. Morgan recorded 24 primaries, 6 assists, and 6 behind the line tackles this season. Number 57, junior Gabe Harmon. Gabe was a starter for us on both sides of the ball until he received a foot injury around mid-season. He started right tackle on offense and defensive end for us. Before he got hurt, he had 8 primaries, 3 assists, and 1 tackle behind the line. Gabe's another hard worker who will be instrumental in next year's team. Gabe probably gets the number 2 spot at being the most quiet player in the team. Between him and Dowdy, I don't know if they say a full sentence during a week's time, but hard-working but very quiet young man. They'll talk when you talk to them, but they're not going to offer much for his conversation. Oh, guys, are those guys like that around you guys? They yap around. Were you afraid of me, Dowdy, or what? All right, number 59, junior A.J. Gons. Okay, Gonzo, as he's called. No, he doesn't necessarily look like the great Gonzo on the Muppets, as his nose isn't quite as big as his Gonzo's. Well, I just was on the internet today, and I just pulled up the great Gonzo or whatever, and A.J. really doesn't look too much like him at all. He doesn't have that blue or purple hair. He's not as hairy as the real Gonzo. But A.J.'s another success story of a player benefiting from his off-season work habits. A.J. started for us at defensive end and left offensive tackle for us all season. He's a formidable force who rarely makes mistakes, and his play garnered him a spot in the all-conference team as a second-team defensive end, along with being on the SEMO Football Coaches Association all-region team as a second-team defensive end. Gonzo recorded 34 primaries and 6 assists with 9 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, along with intercepting a pass when he read a screenplay down at Crothersville when we played down there. You could kind of see the likeness of the great Gonzo when that happened, because his eyes are about as big as that character in the Muppets, the Gonzo and the Muppets. So anyways, so maybe there is a little bit of truth in you being called Gonzo, A.J. Another player, because of his work, A.J. could be one of the better linemen in the conference next year. So, you know, a lot of these guys stand up here, especially, well, all of the ones are coming back, as hard as they work and experience they gain this year, ought to be fun next year. Number 65, junior Leland Hook. Okay, Leland was a backup center defensive lineman who had 1 primary and 1 assist on defense. He's another one of our players who's always a pleasure to have around. He's a hard worker who I'm hoping that his hard work pays off for him, because he's always in the weight room working. So hopefully, as a senior, Lee, you're gonna be out in the field a lot more than what you were in the past. Leland's on the total opposite end of the quiet scale of Dowdy and Harmon, as Lee always has something to say along with a great sense of humor. I was always hearing little things that little Leland would be doing or whatever, or stirring up or whatever, and he's just a fine young man, with, like I said, with a great sense of humor. So all those things you thought were going unnoticed, Hook, I always knew about. Number 68, junior K. Jet. Yet another success story because of his off-season work habits. Cade's extremely hard worker in the weight room, and his efforts have paid off for him, as he's named to the all-conference team as a first-team offensive guard, and the SEMO Football Coaches Association as a second-team offensive guard. Cade's got good size and strength and quickness, who with his work habits should be one of our run-behind guys next fall on offense. He improved greatly as the year went on and played some D-line where he recorded 7 primary and 1 assisted tackles for us. Number 69, junior Dalton Campbell. Okay, Dalton was a backup offensive and defensive line for us this past season. He played a lot of special teams and subbed a lot on the D-line this past year. He recorded 7 primary, 2 assists, and 3 behind the line tackles. Also had a fumble recovery on defense. Dalton works hard in the offseason. He could be part of the equation next fall. Puts on a little weight and be right in with those guys. Number 78, senior Chase Lindsay. Okay, and again, another hard worker who dealt with some bothersome knee injuries off and on throughout the season. Chase put a lot of time in the weight room last summer, and was really hoping he was going to be a contributor on the line, either offensively or defensively, for us this past year. And you know, things just didn't work out for him because of his knee injury. It kind of bothered him last year, but you know, another pleasurable, enjoyable young man to have around. The thing about Chase was he possessed the tenacity, which we're always trying to get out of our players. Football's an aggressive game, and a lot of times the more aggressive and tenacity like you can be, it kind of helps you, and Chase had those qualities. Chase will be a successful young man through his work habits. Okay, then we have our 4 managers. I'd like to introduce those. I don't think Lizzie's here tonight, is she, gals? Yeah. She is here. There she is back there. Come on up, Lizzie. Okay, this is our senior manager, Elizabeth Brown. And we had 2 juniors, Cassie Fleeg and Kelsey Schmidt. Come on up, gals. Cassie's the blonde. I guess. And sophomores, Kylie Kennard. You always wonder what girls are doing on the football team or whatever, but it seems like girls, for whatever reason, are very responsible, and I don't know if it's out of fear or what, but you ask them to do something, and they usually get the job done, and just good pleasure to have around for the guys. Also gives the guys a little bit of something different in practice on Wednesdays. Wednesdays we always have what we call chase the managers after we have conditioning, where we'll line the girls up, and when we started out we usually put them on about the 40-yard line, and the players line up on the goal line, and I blow the whistle and the guys try and run the girls down. And as far as a little bit of motivation, every game we win after that, the girls move 5 yards closer to the guys. So I think they were all caught by the end of the year. But girls do a good job, and they're a lot of fun to have around. The guys take care of them pretty well, and they're fun to tease. But like I say, no matter how much fun they are to have around, the girls do their part and earn their place in the team. Okay, you guys can all sit down. Okay, I wanted to give out the thank yous like Coach Weiler said I would do. Okay, I'd like to thank the players who gave us coaches their utmost respect in your work habits. We appreciate it, guys. I'd like to thank coaches for their dedication that it takes to have for a successful program. I'd like to thank our administration from all the way Dr. Lindsay on the top all the way down through Mr. Haney, who's attending. Mr. Haney still back there? You take off? He went to the board meeting. He went to the board meeting. Mr. Haney attains a lot of things. Our administrators are very, very supportive of all activities in the school. And of course, Mr. Haney probably didn't even go home after school. He stuck around for the banquet. Now there's a board meeting tonight, so he's attending that. Dr. Lindsay was here earlier, and her whole administration. So thank them. Thank Coach Nix for all his help with everything. Very smooth getting along with things as far as how would you call it, management, or? Sure. Sure. You agree? That's one thing about Coach Nix. He's always agreeing with me. By the way, you couldn't tell what I was thinking either a while ago when you said you could read my mind. I'd like to thank the media for giving our players the recognition they received by newspapers or radio. Jason Viox with the Herald sitting back there. Don Pritchard's back there recording this for KSGM, KBDZ. I'd like to thank Frank Kirschmer, who did the Prepcast broadcasts, and the guys out of KTJJ. All these media people do a great job of promoting our players throughout the area, and we always appreciate that. I'd like to thank the parents for supporting their kids to play, along with supporting our program. These players continue to be respectful and great young men. We basically don't tolerate anything else but that, but mom and dad, you guys are doing a great job of raising them to be respectful and fine kids, and that's a big piece of our puzzle and on the football program. I'd like to thank all the moms led by Linda Allen for taking care of the players' meals before the game, or if we had long trips, preparing sack lunches for them, which they also always took care of the coaches. So, that was a very nice thing to do, and I certainly appreciate that. I'd like to thank Sports Boosters for funding our banquet, and thanks to the endless number of people who support our program, especially on Friday nights. There's just an endless list of people who do anything from little things to big things. And that's what it takes to have a successful program. And lo and behold, I'd like to, name each one of these people, but as soon as I do that, then you forget somebody. But, if you do anything to help with our program, we certainly are thankful for that, and I usually tell you outside of things too. Okay, now we'd like to give out the awards that are voted on by the players. Coach Weiler will give those out, and I'll call the players up here. Okay, these are the awards that after our last meeting, after the season always ends, the kids have ballots and they vote on these awards. So, start off with the outstanding offensive lineman this year is Morgan Shank. Outstanding defensive lineman, A.J. Gons, a.k.a. Gonzo. Gonzo, you need to find somebody you can call Kermit and Miss Piggy and all. We get the Muppet cast next year. That'd be something good. Okay, outstanding offensive back, Austin Brewer. Outstanding defensive back, Logan Seibel. Stay right here, Logan. Logan, come right here. Okay, outstanding linebacker, Logan Dowdy. I'm staying over there. I got you two again. Take a stand. Very good. Between Brewer and Dowdy, I gave these guys grief all season long. All winter long, these two worked their tails off in the weight room. And if you're around me much at all, you're going to get teased sooner or later. Anyhow, these two kids worked their tails off, and every chance I'd see them around practice, I'd ask if there was something going on that I needed to know about, being they were spending so much time together. So, it's just fun, fun teasing, but if everybody worked as hard as those two, you listen to this, Seibel? Yeah. Everybody listen? Everybody works as hard as these two here. We'll be heck on wheels next year, so you don't forget about that, Logan Seibel, okay? Okay, outstanding special teams, Drew Smelsley. You can move over closer down. Drew was our kicker and punter this year, and he took a lot of pride in doing what he did. He got better as the year went on. Again, he was all-conference place kicker for us, and like I told the coaches at the all-conference meeting, he didn't have any field goals, but that was because we didn't try any in games, but something we worked on every day at practice, and he certainly made a lot of those in practice, so we always had confidence in you, Drew, but opportunities just never presented themselves in the games for that. Most improved player, Harrison Womack. Okay, the improvement fairy didn't come and sprinkle improvement dust on Harrison for him to get this. He made himself into a player. Hustle Award, Luke Gettinger. Okay, then the two final awards are Most Valuable Lineman and Most Valuable Back, and our Most Valuable Lineman this past season was voted on by the kids was Morgan Shank. And our Most Valuable Back was Austin Brewer. Okay, that pretty well takes care of the football portion of it. Seniors, you guys make sure you come up and see me after the banquet's over with. I got keychains for you, okay? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I know Coach Stolzer, if it was up to him, we wouldn't make a real big deal tonight about this being his final year as a coach at St. Genevieve. So I'm going to apologize to you now because we're just not going to let that happen tonight, Coach. First of all, this is my 14th year at St. Genevieve, and I can remember the day that I interviewed here like it was yesterday because it was one of the most unique interviews I've ever had. It consisted of about an hour up in the district office with Mr. Stewart, who did all the talking, if you can believe that. About an hour with our current principal, Larry Thompson, and then about 4 hours with Bob Stolzer. I followed him around during lunch supervision and to some of his classes that he was teaching at the time, and I guess since he's retiring I can tell this story. As I'm standing there and he's asking me questions about myself and things like that, one of the questions that kind of caught me off guard was, "Do you like women?" I really didn't know how to take that. If he was hitting on me or questioning me. But I think I took it pretty well because I just kind of laughed and said, "Yes, I do. I'm engaged. Thank you." That was just the beginning of 14 years of fun with Coach Stolzer. I started out as his assistant coach for 8 years, in which I felt like I learned a lot about football. You know, I was able to play when I was in school, but you only learn so much as a player. And the things that I was able to learn over those 8 years were invaluable to me. And then, of course, when he retired, we flip-flopped, and I became your boss. Which I'm sure he liked a lot. But he retired from education, retiring from this position, and I took over 6 years ago as the athletic director. And right off the bat, he continued to help me and to coach me on how to do this job and how to do this job well. I don't know where it went wrong, but he tried. But after 14 years of working alongside Coach Stolzer, either as his assistant coach or as the athletic director, it's been obvious that he's an important part of our football program. Over 26 years as head coach, he had 3 losing seasons. Or to be more optimistic about it, he had 23 out of 26 winning seasons. That's remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. That's amazing. A lot of coaches are blessed with talent year in, and then, you know, for a few years, and then a few years later, they're 1-9 or 2-8 or whatever for the next 4 or 5 years, and it just kind of cycles through. 23 out of 26 winning seasons is pretty impressive. And I'll go over some of his other statistics here in just a few minutes. Over the past 14 years, it's been very obvious to me the impact that he has had on hundreds of players and assistant coaches and parents and just people in general. He's not only a big part of this football program and helped put it on the map in the state of Missouri, because St. Genevieve football is known around the state of Missouri. He's also impacted young men's lives in a great way, and a lot of these players that we have here tonight, these current players, Coach Stolzer coached their dads, and that's amazing. I don't think you have any players that you coached their grandpa, did you? I don't really know how old you are, to be honest. I know you're like 80 or something, but actually his birthday is just a few days before mine. I think he's like 61 or something like that. Is that right? 38. 38, okay. I was way off. But I don't have to tell everybody in this room how important Coach Stolzer has been to our football program. He's known around town, he's known around the area, and he's known around the state, and he is a Hall of Fame coach in the state of Missouri. I could go on and on, but I'm not. I won't do that. What I will do, though, is start a video that I put together with the help of Abby Stolzer. So, Coach, if you don't mind hitting the lights there to dim just a little bit. There we go. We'll do that. And then give me just a minute to hit play. You can watch it on the TV up there or on the screen here. And it's just a short video for Coach Stolzer.
Congratulations, Coach Stolzer, on an outstanding career of coaching, but most importantly, teaching young men like myself that whether it's on the football field or in life, if you work hard, dedicate yourself, and work as a team, anything's possible. Enjoy your retirement, Coach.
Hey Coach, it's Sweet Chief. Congratulations on an outstanding career. Honored to be a part of it for the 4 years I was a part of it. Thank you for letting me be a part of what was such a great run we had. Congratulations. Enjoy your time in the Deer Woods.
Hey Coach, I can tell stories or talk about memories, things I'll never forget, but it's easiest just for me to say thank you. It truly is an honor to be a part of your legacy.
Coach Stoser, on behalf of Deb Stesto, we'd like to thank you for all the business that you brought us throughout the years. We'd also like to congratulate you on such a successful coaching career and your 206 wins, which I'm pretty sure I may have been sitting on the bleachers for most of them. It was a joy watching you and your coaching staff coach all them young men out on the field, including our son. We'd like to congratulate you for being elected into the Hall of Fame. What an honor. We'd like to wish you good luck on your retirement. And in your spare time, maybe you can go up north and show the Rams a trick or two. Coach Stoser, good luck and congratulations.
Dad, first of all, congratulations on your career. Out of all people that should know it, it's your boys. All the time and dedication that you put into it. We know how much you enjoyed it and loved it, and your career shows it that you were a very good coach. Not only did I get the pleasure of playing with you for 4 years, but I got to live your career. And that I thank you for letting us be part of it as much as you did. I just want to say congratulations on it. I love you, buddy, and happy retirement.
Dad, first off, I'd like to congratulate you on your retirement and your 206 wins. It was an honor being on the sidelines with you through all those years, as well as being your son. I'll have you know that your coaching career is not over. You still have a grandchild to coach throughout their lives. I wish you the best, and I want to thank you for being my dad and raising me who I am today. I love you, and congratulations.
Coach, one more thing before we let you ride off into the sunset. We purchased 2 plaques, one for you to keep and one for the school to keep, and we'll put it in our trophy case by the indoor concession stand. It'll stay there for a very long time for the school to keep. And just to read to you what it has on the plaque here, it says, "Thank you, Coach Bob Stolzer, for your service to SGHS football and the St. Genevieve community. 206 wins and 94 losses, a .686 winning percentage, 1 state title, 1 state runner-up, 5 semifinalists, 3 quarterfinalists, 14 district titles, 13 conference titles, 36 years at SGHS, and 26 as the SGHS head coach." Coach, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the kids of this community. Congratulations. Want to say anything? Okay, he didn't want to say anything. I can't believe that, but he didn't want to say anything. And last but definitely not least, we now have our cheer program. And something I wanted to say about both our Emeralds and our cheer. What's up, cheer? Something I wanted to say about both our Emeralds and cheer teams. They don't have the opportunity to go out and measure their hard work and time that they put in with wins and losses and statistics. Instead, they just simply work their butts off day in and day out of practice to get better so that they can support the teams like football and volleyball and so forth that do get the attention and the statistics and things like that. So they do it for the thrill of dancing and cheerleading, and they do it for the support of our athletes. So we thank you for everything that you guys do. And I'm going to turn it over now to Coach Grine, who I think is going to do all the talking about the cheer, correct? Okay, Coach Grine, you're up.
All right, well, that's a tough act to follow, but I'm going to try. All right, good evening. My name is Ashley Grine, and I'm the head coach for the cheerleading squad. This is my second year as head coach, and then I had a year as assistant before that. Over here is Mrs. Laura Gegg. She was the assistant coach this fall season. I would like to begin by saying a few thank yous. First of all, to Coach Gegg, of course, for all of her help throughout the season. To Coach Ramirez for choreographing the dance that we did for homecoming. It was awesome seeing the girls, the cheerleaders and Emeralds come together. They spent lots of time practicing the dance and turned out really good. And they actually performed at homecoming on the field. And then also to Mr. Nix for all of his guidance and kind words about our squad throughout the season. And last but not least, our cheer parents who would basically do anything for us coaches or our girls. We began our season this summer with lots of practice and then NCAA cheer camp at SEMO. During cheer camp, these girls literally work from 8 a.m. in the morning till about 9 or 10 p.m. with just a few short breaks for lunch and dinner. The girls had dance, jump, and stunt class daily. They also could be selected as All-American nominees, and we also, some of our girls were nominated, and they were Kiara Benton, Caitlin Roth, Drew Moore, Connor Shilley, Jessie Cinetempo, Jodessa Bowman, and Amanda Kastner. And at the camp, there were about 125 girls that were selected for this squad, and they had to try out. After the tryouts, 14 girls made it out of that 125, and one of those was our very own Drew Moore, so props to Drew for that. And then Amanda Kastner also received the only leadership award at camp as well, so props to Amanda. Your cheerleaders worked very hard most of their season to get ready for homecoming. Homecoming preparation starts about the second week of August and ends after the girls do 3 pep assemblies, a parade, and cheer at a football game on homecoming Friday. They also stay up all night the Friday before homecoming to decorate your school and make signs to root on the football players for homecoming week. We had quite a few injuries this season as well. Most were pretty minor, but made our season pretty challenging. I feel like we had a tremendous group of talented girls this season. I've coached most of them for the last 3 years and have enjoyed every minute of it. I want to thank the girls for the laughs this season. Even though I was constantly yelling at you to jump more or cheer louder, you always did it. There were some days during practice that I would be screaming in excitement because we just hit a stunt that we'd been working so hard on. The cheerleaders don't, like Coach Nick said, the cheerleaders don't get wins, losses, trophies throughout their season, but I definitely feel like they won the season with all of the injuries we had. I would also like to mention 3 girls that have been outstanding this season, which are 3 seniors and captains, Amanda Kastner, Jodessa Bowman, and Jessie Cinetempo. These girls showed great leadership this season and helped me out a bunch. This season wouldn't have been the same without them. And then girls, when I call your name, go ahead and come up. Lauren Bell. She's one of our freshmen this year. Lauren always had a story to tell that normally ended up with herself or the rest of us in tears from laughing. Lauren really stepped up in a leadership role with the freshman girls this season. She always asked if they needed help with something, and her skills for a freshman are pretty outstanding. Next is Kiara Benton. Kiara is a sophomore, and you can tell by watching Kiara that she has a strong love and desire for cheer, and she's very interested in improving herself. Anything she can do better, she does. Next is Katrina Boland. Katrina is one of our juniors. Katrina is always smiling, very positive. She is the one that always has my eye during games or practices, performances. She hates it because I make her laugh all the time, but my eye is always drawn towards her. Next is one of our seniors, Jodessa Bowman. Jodessa is a very dedicated captain. She really stepped up this season, learned a lot of the dances for homecoming, and brought it back and taught the girls. Next is Jennifer Burr. Jennifer is one of our sophomores. Jennifer is kind, she's sweet. She was a very great leader during our cheer clinic that we had this year with the little girls and the elementary assemblies for homecoming. Next is senior Jessie Cinetempo. Jessie is one of our seniors. Jessie did anything I asked her to do with a smile. She's eager and she's very dedicated to this sport. Next is Ashley Kreider. Ashley is one of our sophomores as well. She's always willing to try something new. She likes to learn the new things. She always did whatever was best for the whole team, and she was very positive during stunting. Next is Bree Gegg. Bree is one of our freshmen as well. Bree has improved greatly as a flyer this season. She did a lot of things she didn't want to do because I made her. She gave me dirty looks sometimes, but I made her do it anyway, and she did awesome by the end of the season. She was doing some things she would never thought she did. So, next is Jenna Grieshaber. Jenna is a sophomore. Coach Gegg and I gave this lady lots of grief this season. She is a fantastic flyer, but we really pushed her. I'm proud of how much she has improved in the last 2 years as a flyer. Next is Danielle Hefner. Danielle is one of our sophomores. Danielle took a very hard fall at a volleyball game right before homecoming, but came back more eager than ever. She worked hard to learn all the material she had missed from being out from her injury, and she has more spirit than lots of girls I've ever coached or had cheered with before. Next is Amanda Kastner, one of our seniors. Amanda also had a pretty intense injury this season. Although she tried to struggle through it, she ended up having to sit the last few weeks. She took this all in stride and still showed up to all the games, practices, and cheered for the teams on the sidelines. Next is Georgia McCraney. Georgia is a sophomore. After being hurt the first half of the season, she really stepped up into a big stunting role when Amanda got hurt, and Georgia always has a smile on her face. She's quiet, but she always has a smile. Next is Drew Moore. Drew is one of our juniors. Like I said earlier, she was selected for the NCAA All-American Cheer Squad, and as far as I know, she's one of the few SGHS cheerleaders that have done that. She's a fantastic cheerleader. She's always interested in learning new techniques on how to make herself an even better cheerleader. Next is Caitlin Roth, and I don't think she's here tonight. Next is Connor Shilley, and she's our last freshman. Connor really stepped up as a base this season in stunting. She was willing to stunt with anyone and tried really hard to make the stunts work. I really liked getting to know Connor this season. And last but not least is our manager, Miss Jessica Fleeg. Jessie is a sophomore this year. This cheer season was fantastic with Jess around. Coach Gegg and I really enjoyed having her on the sidelines with us. She was always there to help me yell at the girls whenever they weren't loud enough or they weren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, so she's helping me out a lot. We also have 4 awards to hand out for the fall squad. The first one is the Miss Cheerleader Award. This is a girl that works really hard all the time, always does what's best for her team. And this year it goes to Ashley Kreider. Our next award goes for Best Jumps, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Best Jumps this year goes to Drew Moore. We have a leadership award this year, and it goes to Miss Jessie Sinatempo. And our last award is for Miss Spirit, and this is obviously pretty self-explanatory as well. Whoever has the most spirit on our squad, and it easily goes to Miss Danielle Hefner. And that's all. Thanks, girls.
This is also Coach Grind's last year, at least for now, for coaching cheer. I tried talking her out of it, but maybe someday I'll get her back and she can coach again for us later. And I think Katrina's standing right behind me to give Coach Grind something. Is that right? Okay, yeah. Katrina, you're up.
I'm really short. This isn't going to work out. All right. So this is Miss Grind's last year. She's been my coach for 3 years, and I'm really going to miss her. I'm going to try not to cry, guys, so bear with me. But I'd like everybody for coming out today Furthermore, I'd like to recognize Ms. Grind for all of her hard work and dedication. As a coach, she has to fulfill the duties and responsibilities for our squad. This includes practices, games, camp, and homecoming. From all of us on the squad this year, we would like to thank Ms. Grind for all that she has done for us. This includes the Friday night games, staying up late for camp, selfies every other second, and just pushing us to do our best. Some words to describe Ms. Grind are organized, intelligent, loving, inspirational, and self-motivated. Along with these words, I would like to add dedicated. It takes a lot of effort and skills to manage 15 girls, but somehow she did it. Grind made her team the best it could ever think about being. She's been an inspiration to us this year and all the years that have passed. She's taught us all with hard work and dedication we can achieve our goals and reach our full potential. Without her, we would be just another squad, but because of her, we are a team. And with that being said, would you all please give a round of applause for the most amazing coach I've ever had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Katrina. Just two last thank yous from me. Our coaches do a pretty good job of thanking everybody that helps out throughout the season. Thank you to parents who worked concessions this year. That's a lot of you, most of you probably, and we really appreciate that. It makes money for our sports programs, and we couldn't do it without you guys. I want to thank our custodians. Not only do they clean up after the banquet tonight, but they clean up after every home game. When there's hundreds of people at a football game or volleyball game or whatever it may be, even big ones like homecoming and things like that, they have to go out, clean up after everybody, and they do a very good job, so I want to thank them. And finally, our administration, Mr. Haney, Mr. Mercer, among the others who help share, not only share the supervision duties with me, but help me with a lot of the things that I have to do as an athletic director, so thank you to those guys as well. Award winners. Okay, pay attention here, kids. If you were an award winner tonight for your sport, whether it be cheer or emerald or football, we need you to stay after, okay? Also, football players, if you were an all-conference, all-district, or all-region player, we need you to stick around. Jason Viox is here to take pictures to put in the paper while you guys are dressed up and looking sharp. We're going to do that right out here in the Commons, and we'll organize you guys and get that done as quickly as possible. So if you won an award tonight, or if you were an all-conference, all-district, or all-region, stick around and we'll meet you in the Commons. Last two things.
Seniors, including Leslie, get their feet.
Seniors, including our senior manager, make sure you guys stop and see Mr. Stolzer, Coach Stolzer, so he can give you your keychains. Don't forget that. 50-50 tonight, which was $58. By the way, our 50-50 for football games and banquets and stuff, that goes to a scholarship for one of our senior athletes at the end of the year. Maybe a little more incentive. We do pretty good on it, but maybe a little incentive to do even better. The winning ticket, bring your ticket with you, please. 411336. 411336. Bring your ticket with you and we'll get you your $58. And for the football and cheer banners, if you are the winner, just grab it on your way out. If you don't win, don't take it. You'll be a sore loser. Okay, football banner. Leland Hook. All right, and the cheer banner. Lauren Bell. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Drive safely. Have a good evening.